What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Savilian. Welcome to the Sav Show. I'm here with a very, very special guest. And in fact, this is going to be the first actual interview that I've done on the Sav Show. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want everyone to make him feel very welcome. This is Rowan Allan Fitness. What's going on, baby?
Hey, brother. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a long time coming, this podcast, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've been geeing it up for a moment. And look, maybe it took a little bit of extra nudging to get across the line.
Didn't take much at all, mate. Let's be honest. Not for you anyway.
No. All right, so I just kind of put it on you just then as to like introducing what your actual title is. But yeah, do you want to just give us a quick synopsis of how you would identify yourself right now in the business you're running?
Yeah, so basically run an online coaching platform called Rowan Allan Fitness, which has been going really well. And it's just kind of grown over the last few years to where it is now. I basically just help men transform their lives through physical activity, proper nutrition, mental health support and all these kind of things that go with it. So I guess it's allowed me to really, tune in on my passion with health and fitness and help guys along the way with it.
I think one of the first things I noticed when we became Instagram friends, which is when it was official, is you wrote your like tagline or your like actual business name, I guess you would call it, is like online transformation coach. It's not like online fitness it's like transformation. It implies like holistic. Like I'm here to help you transform your life, not just get like better abs, not just eat better, but like transform your life.
Yeah, you're spot on. And I think a lot of people get stuck in this mindset where they do chase a physical appearance or whatever it may be in a short term as well.
Yep.
Whereas I like to look at a long-term approach, through health and fitness, through mental health, looking at daily habits from stress to sleep and all these kind of things that a lot of guys forget about and they don't realize how important they are for everyday living and just relationships with everyone else in their life. And I think once we fix those, a lot of things do improve in their life, not just their physical appearance as well. Things
kind of fall into place. It's like you can be, you can spend your whole life trying to optimize certain things, trying to make relationships better, trying to make diet better, trying to make exercise better. But if you can get someone to like have a bird's eye view like yourself and just kind of go, look, man, I just feel like if we just put this here, things might fall into place. And then once they fall into place, it just makes everything so much easier. And I feel like you would probably get to see that quite often, right? Like,
big time.
See people get it.
And like when I first started in the online space, I was a bit like, well, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to make or change guys' lives, right? Through like health and fitness.
What's your niche going to be? Is that what you mean? Or
yeah, but not only that, but like, where did the kind of transformation word come from? And I guess I did a lot of thinking about what that's going to include. And it is about looking at all the different aspects in life that a lot of guys forget about.
Yeah. Okay. So you had a very conscious idea, like, how am I going to actually impact lives? And it's going to be through this like word or like this idea of actually transforming someone's life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that's why I'm not really a big thing on the 6, 8, 12-week programs, because they don't really allow me to get too involved with the guys' lives, which I think is really important.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And I do become a big part of their life. It's a massive part of their life when I'm telling them what to eat and how to train and, what their daily habits should include. So, I hear a lot about what's going on behind the scenes as well, with relationships and stress and sleep and what really affects those with guys' lives. So, that's why I'm such a big thing on mental health as well, because it plays such a big role in whether or not they get to where they want to be.
It really does. And I feel like, I'm just thinking about this now, but if you're on a fitness journey or like a health journey, and you have like one off day because like, you've had a fight with your spouse or, something's gone wrong at work, and you're just feeling a little bit low, that could actually end up snowballing into you giving up on your fitness and health journey altogether. Yep. But if you've got someone there like ready to pick you up at that moment, it could genuinely change the trajectory of your life.
And that's why I love the online space so much, is because it is so powerful. My clients can reach out to me anytime.
Yeah,
just
okay.
Literally just through a message or a
How
voice
good is
message
that?
or whatever. Yeah, or I get guys being like, hey, can we jump on a quick call?
Yeah, okay.
5-10 minutes can really make a big impact for their week, their day, their month.
Bro, I
And it
could
can really
imagine.
keep them on track as well.
And it's good, like, shout out those guys that are not afraid of that. Like,
Yeah.
because that would be, I'm thinking back to like my fitness journey and the reason that I stopped so many times is because I felt shame. Like every time I would like get a little bit of a ball rolling, I would feel, and then I would like kind of drop the ball momentarily. I would feel shame and I wouldn't want to like go seek help. I wouldn't want to talk to anyone. I wouldn't want to involve anyone else. I'd want to like keep it to myself. So like for them to, one, it's like obviously you providing the support, but it's then them actually reaching out and going, look, Ro, like I'm battling a bit today. I need to keep my energy up or whatever. So good on them for like making the call to do the tough thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of why I do what I do. Is it is very impactful on guys' lives.
Yep.
And it's a lot more than just, here's a training plan, nutrition plan, I'll catch you later, see you in 6 weeks. It's like, let's work on this together. It's a journey that you've got to really walk in each other's shoes with. And everyone's different, man. Like every single person that comes to me has their issues.
And that's why you can't like, you can obviously kind of structure some things, but you can't just cookie cutter like here, bro, here, bro, here, bro, here, bro, here, bro. Like you can't do that. You actually have to be like specified and yeah.
I think the biggest thing is the base for a lot of guys will be the same.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
You don't need to reinvent the wheel or reinvent things that are working from the start, but it's then where you go from there that dictates whether you're a good coach or not.
Yeah.
Right. If you're making, and that's why the weekly check-ins are so good, because we can adjust things weekly to keep the progression very linear. Right. So what that also allows me to do is see how guys are responding to certain things with
that you're
training.
implementing.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is so good. I'm getting a lot of like, wow, this is impactful. This is real.
Yeah, and these are the kind of things I don't really get to speak about too much on my Instagram because it is quite deep, right? And this is the kind of conversations I have with a lot of clients. But once again, it is deep. So it takes a bit of time to get there because a lot of guys take a bit of time to open up as well.
Yep.
Right. So then we kind of dive into things like it does get quite deep. And this is why I'm such a big part of guys' lives, right? So then it gets down to what foods that I've given you are working and what aren't working, right? Which might take 4 to 6 weeks for us to work out what's going on here. So bloating, we might have issues with, your insides and, gas and all that kind of stuff. So everyone is so different, Some guys are great. Some guys really struggle getting all the food in. Some guys are like, fuck, I need more food.
Yep.
And so working closely with each and every client is so important to me.
Yep.
And just giving it time to kind of gel and understand them a bit more is really important.
Yeah, I would imagine, especially when it comes to like the food thing, like sifting through like what works, what doesn't. All right, we'll try this for 2 weeks. We'll try this. All right, bin that. Let's add this. Take that out. Like that would take time. That's science. That's like actually
it's a big process of elimination with a lot of things.
Have to be. Yeah. To do it right.
Yeah, and recently one of my clients was actually wasn't agreeing well to fructose. Okay. So we were pulling out berries and bananas.
What's fructose? Is that
fruit,
just sugar?
Right? Yeah, fruit, right? So we're pulling out all these fucking things, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. It's not the bananas, it's not the berries, it's not the raspberries, and it turned out to be everything.
Really?
All the fructose. So
just couldn't do it.
We basically just pulled it all out and bang. Yep. 2 days later he's 100%. So
how good is that?
And that comes down to, I'm really big on communication, right? So I say to my clients, I say, look, I need you to communicate with me honestly about how you're feeling.
Yep.
How's your body responding, to the food I'm giving you? Because I need this information, right?
Yeah. Don't hold the details.
No, if you feel like shit, man, you tell me. We'll change things. If you're not feeling it, you're not enjoying it, let me know. We'll change things up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And that's also the benefit of online, right? If you're seeing a PT once a week who's doing your nutrition, you're waiting a week, man. Might be too late.
A lot can change in that week.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's take it back for a second. So just before you got into the online space, let's talk about like what you were doing and what kind of catapulted you into online coaching. Like what was the motivation? Yeah. How did you start?
Where do we start? That's such a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been involved in like the health and fitness industry. I've always loved it, right? So I started Probably lifting weights when I was about 15, 16 at school.
Okay.
And at the time I was into my track and field, athletics, AFL. And I just loved it, man. It was one of the areas I really excelled in, and it really allowed me to be who I was. Academically, it wasn't really my thing.
Yeah.
I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So for me, my outlet was my sport.
Yep.
And then basically from there, I did really well with my track and field and my footy until about 17, 18. Then the gym bug bit me, man.
Okay.
And the rest was history.
What was it, like a one session? Was it a person that you met? Was it, you saw Arnold Schwarzenegger on like a, what was it that bug?
I think it was the progression, man.
Okay.
Seeing your body change.
Right.
And look, I'd been training for 3 years. So I knew it wasn't an overnight success kind of thing.
Okay, right.
And for me, I never really looked at it as if wanting to change my physique in 3 months, because I knew it wasn't going to happen. And I think that mindset has stayed with me since that age and really allowed me to become the person I am now. So ever since I was 15, 16, I've just had that work ethic that I've carried through.
Yep.
And I kind of look back and I'm like, fuck, man, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
I really enjoy my training still to this day after 15, 16 years. And, it's such a big part of my life. So
I think that exactly what you're talking about there, the idea of delayed gratification is just this thing that so many people, and me especially, and a lot of people that I know and grew up with, delayed gratification wasn't something that we knew about or were taught or we knew was even possible. It was all about trying to get something quickly, and if you can't get it quickly, move on.
Yeah.
And so I spent my entire 20s I can't get that thing quickly. All right, move on. Fast. What's next? Trying to fucking find a thing, trying to find a fucking, a 1 in a million kind of shot, when no, the 1 in a million shot is just doing the same thing day in and day out for 10 years straight.
Yeah, literally.
And I feel so I'm glad that I've finally figured it out now. It's not too late, but man, I look at someone like you and even Luke. Luke had a similar trajectory, got in the gym when he was 15, has never looked back, delayed gratification, is happy to wait because he knows if you wait, if you're patient, the things that will come off the back of that is just so worth it. How do we fucking get that into schools, by the way? You know what I mean? How do we educate younger people to be chill the fuck out? It's all good. It's going to come. Just be patient.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question, because I never really thought about. I loved it for the mental side of things when I was young.
Yeah,
because I wasn't, as I said, I wasn't into my academics.
Yep.
So for me, it was just that's all I really had.
Yeah.
And any excuse to go to the gym or hang out with mates and train was my priority.
Yep.
So once that bug hit me, basically during my whole 20s, that's really all I did.
Yeah,
I was religious. I didn't miss a session, man.
You loved it
for literally all through my 20s. I'd go to a 21st, right? I'd go to a 21st birthday party.
I'm just thinking, I never missed a session either. But I mean, maybe we're talking about different sessions. I think we're a little bit different, mate. When I'm going to the gym at 1 a.m, you're coming home or going out. You know what I mean? I'm just starting, yeah.
Yeah, I've probably seen you a few times as well.
Yeah, so you go to a 21st.
Yeah, so I'd go to a 21st and I'd leave at 10 o'clock and then go to the gym, man.
Fuck.
I was just so fucking dedicated, man.
I love that.
And I don't know what it was, but I just it was my outlet.
Yeah.
Right? And I used to train 45 minutes away as well. So from where I lived, 10, 15 years ago, I used to drive 45 minutes in the gym after work every single day.
Wow. Yeah.
Now I'm I've got to walk 200 meters, I'm fuck that any longer and I'm not going, man.
Get on the, what do you call it?
I'll get on the bike instead. Yeah.
What do you call it? The
fixie.
Yeah. Fuck. Such a Melbourne thing, fixie.
Yeah.
I never heard that before I got here.
Well, it's good around here, man. The streets are so flat.
Yeah. Get on the fixie.
Yeah. So basically, my love for training and health and fitness kind of grew from there. And I really wish I had, my first coach was actually when I was 19.
Okay.
And all he did was give me a training program and nutrition plan and say, catch you later.
Good luck, brother.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
And look, I followed that religiously for 3 years.
Yeah, okay.
And most of the stuff I know now is just self-taught. I literally read every book, researched everything I wanted to know, man.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why my passion has been so strong for it, because just self-taught.
Yep.
And it's kind of,
well, it's yours. It's your thing.
Yeah.
You've built it from the ground up. You've cared about it. You've nurtured it. And no one can take that away from you.
Yeah, yeah. So, all through my 20s and stuff, I still did a little bit of track and field, but predominantly it was my weight training. And man, I made so many mistakes.
Yeah, okay.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just with nutrition and stuff, I went on my first bulk, and I blew out to 96 kilos, bro.
Really?
Yeah, man.
And what are you at now?
I'm 81.
Yeah, wow.
So, yeah.
Very different
I was
human.
proper fat, man.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't shit food. I was just eating too much.
Yeah, okay.
And I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just bulk up. I'll just eat 5,000 calories a day.
Yeah, okay.
Just force feeding myself every day until my mum turns around. She goes, "Can you get rolls, fat rolls at the back of your head?" And I'm like, "Oh, really? I'm better cut now."
Yeah. It's
so
about that time.
when you're tying your shoelaces and you're a bit like, "Oh, I'm a bit out of breath here."
Yeah, okay,
You've taken a bit far.
Yeah.
So I ended up cutting down and getting in good shape and stuff. And then, just kind of learned so much from that, man. You learn so much from putting your body through extreme stresses.
Yeah, I bet.
Just always, I'm constantly learning about new training and just different nutrition, and I just find it so interesting, different foods and all these kind of things that that we're kind of constantly evolving and learning about.
And okay, so that's a bit of your background as to where your love of fitness comes from. Where does the online part of this journey begin?
Yeah, so I was doing a fair bit of in-person stuff. So I actually did coach a fair bit of track and field when I was younger as well. Yeah.
What did you do when you were actually competing? You're
so
sprinting.
1, 2, 4.
Interesting.
And jumping as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so quite explosive.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where a lot of my performances come from now.
Yeah, okay.
Especially translating into martial arts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's come from that that track and field background.
Explosiveness, yeah.
Yeah, that real athleticism.
So you're doing a bit of coaching there, coaching some people track and field. Yep.
Yeah. And then I kind of got into more strength and conditioning stuff.
Okay.
So more working with performance athletes. I was doing a bit of group stuff for a while too with performance athletes, but I just found that the group stuff was quite hard because you'd have some high level of athletes in there, and then you'd have guys who weren't as high level, so you couldn't really push the group to the full potential you wanted to. And I was like, you know what? When I was even training high performance athletes, I couldn't really give them all the knowledge I had because I couldn't manage them when they weren't with me.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why the online space for me was so appealing. Yeah, so it opened up a door.
Yeah, okay.
It opened up a door for me to be like, you know what? I can offer more value to these guys every single day.
Yep.
Whereas if I'm seeing someone once, twice a week, I can't really offer the value I want to.
Yeah.
Because my passion for it's so much strong. I want these guys to do really well.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of potential from these guys.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get it out of them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And you can't be then texting them or calling them on a Tuesday night.
Fuck, man.
Brother, I just had this
Hey,
this
bro,
idea.
how'd you sleep last night, man? Did you have a good sleep last night?
What's your shit look like? Do we need to adjust something? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you're like, all right, take it online. I can have a bit more input. I can have a lot more input. I can add a lot more value.
Yep.
And I can just actually control the trajectory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So looking at, as we've spoken about a bit earlier, their sleep, their stress, nutrition, training, looking at all these different aspects of their life.
Yeah.
And having that constant and then building a really good relationship. All my clients now, I've got a really nice relationship.
Yep.
And that's what I've always wanted. I want a really nice community and really positive guys to work with. And people who are really driven as well to do better in life and, really, it really improves their quality of life with their family and their kids. And, it's just amazing, in terms of what changes for a lot of people once they get their health and fitness on track.
Yep. So you kind of realize, all right, taking it online is probably the way I'm going to do it. How do you start? Because I'd imagine similar to strength or your gym work. You don't really get taught. You have to just get in there, figure it out. Literally. So where'd you start? It's a tough one.
It's really tough. I mean, it's kind of hard to pinpoint, but my first client was I actually started exchanging my services for other services. Right.
Smart.
So that's how I started.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really feel worthy. That was my biggest issue, man. So I didn't really feel worthy. Even though I'd been in the PT space for ages and I was, training these, really like serious athletes and stuff like that. But I just still didn't feel worthy in the online space, right?
Yep. Well, you're doing something complete, like even though it's the same thing, it's a very different thing, and the value proposition might be seen differently from the other person. So yeah, I would imagine that would have been a tricky kind of like hump to get over initially.
Absolutely. And I think the other biggest thing is like I am reaching out to complete strangers who don't know me from a bar of soap, right? For them to trust me and be like, yeah, cool, I'll let you into my life. You can tell me what to eat, what to do. And really become part of their life, right? They're like, it was really hard to start building that relationship and that trust. So I guess, the online space, I've been in it for probably like 4 or 5 years now. And I guess it's, it took me a good like 12 months to really get on my feet.
Yeah. Okay.
And really start to build a quality brand. And, it takes time to transform people's lives. It takes 3-4 months to see some really, really good results, which then you can then, use as a springboard. Yeah. But unless you've got those, there's not much you can do. There's no social proof.
Yeah. Well, you need, so I would imagine, when you started, it's probably taken you 6 months before you can even really talk about what you can do.
Yeah.
Like 100%. You can talk about what you're potentially offering right out the gate, but what you're actually capable of, you won't be able to show that for like 6 months.
Yeah, yeah. And I think my offer always kind of stayed the same because I knew it was the right method and the right kind of recipe to get the results.
Yep.
But it was just, I've always been tweaking things and kind of improving the value offer my clients and things like that. So, and now I'm at the point where a lot of my clients or people I know just refer people on because they trust me and they know, the results I get
track
are genuine.
Record's there.
Yeah, the track record's there. And then the fact that I actually give a shit too.
Yes.
I think it's really important.
Massive. Yep.
People can see the way I treat my clients and the way I do my business. So I think it's really important. And a lot of people out there that don't give a shit about their clients, man.
I love how you're like, you obviously want to optimize the business. You obviously want to, every business owner wants to have more business. They want to have more income. They want to have more revenue. But I know after talking to you and spending time with you, you're never ever going to cut out or decrease the value that you're giving to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anything, you're going to find ways to increase it every single time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that comes from care. That comes from genuinely caring.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget where they come from as well.
Yeah.
I still remember the first few people that supported me, and they're still good mates today. And I really respect them for that because without them, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. And I think a lot of people, forget their grassroots sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that I'll never forget.
Yeah, those guys built you up when you didn't have much.
Well, they believed in me, man. They believed what I was doing was awesome, and I really helped them out at the time. And look where we are now.
Yeah, I love that. And you're not going to turn your back on them now.
Nah, man. So much has changed between even 6 months, man. Like I don't know how long we've been working together for now, but
4 months.
If you don't know, Sav does all my social media, by the way.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, quick little transition.
Yeah, quick little shout out.
Yeah. So anyway, we've been working together for like 4 months. It's actually funny. I was talking to someone about it the other day about like how we actually started that journey. Like, you became friends with Luke at the gym, and then we became Instagram friends. And I'm like, okay, things are moving nicely. And then you put up that video. And I was like, I was just like feeling good about myself that day. I messaged you and I'm like, I can help you make this better.
Yeah.
And went and had a coffee, and then a week later, pretty much at that point in time, I was like, look, let me just make you a bunch of content.
Yeah.
Free of charge. If after 2 or 3 weeks you're liking it, hire me. And haven't looked back.
The rest is history.
Yeah, since. It's been how are you finding it?
I love it, man. Yeah, it's awesome. Once again, it's relationships.
Yeah.
And that's really what my business is built on, as is yours. And a lot of businesses forget about, why they started in the first place. And that, for me, it was to help change guys' lives because I know how powerful it is and, what can be done through what I'm offering.
Yeah. And I think the thing I love about like how we've kind of found this integration is I care bromance. It's a bit of bromance, but I care about your content as well. Like I want you to look good. I want you to sound good because I know the work that you're doing and the value that you're giving other men, that potentially need it or that definitely need it. And so, yeah, it's like I care. And if you can get people to care, like it just makes for way better business and like way better relationships. Like, yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's how I'm thinking now. Cause like, you know, we talked a little while ago about, you know, maybe me expanding and maybe bringing on some more people, like trying to do a bit more. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that yet. I want to make sure that whoever I work with, I care. Cause I don't want to get like 2 months in and get like cold feet or like change my mind or like, because I'm not invested. I want to be invested and I want to show up to work even if I'm not getting paid. Yep. Like that's how I want to, I want to work with people that I feel like that about, who I really want to build them up, who I really want to spend time with. Yeah, it just makes it a lot easier because, and you know, the same was like with the cafe. I enjoy going to the cafe. Did enjoy going to the cafe. I enjoy going to the cafe. I enjoy going to the cafe, even if I'm like, I just enjoy talking to people there. I enjoy talking shit. I enjoy making people feel comfortable. I enjoy like adding value to the people in this community. So like, even if I wasn't getting paid, I would, or like, let's just say I made $1 million one night, I would still rock up there on the weekends and still do my like 6 or 7 hours because I just enjoy it. Shut up, Lachlan.
It's not people, don't worry.
All right, Lachlan, you dumb dog. You've ruined the podcast. But anyway, we'll keep going. So so we're just talking about like me doing your social media and how it's important to have people around you that care. Yeah. That they want you to do well. That's what you want. You really want just people around you that want you to do well, and there's like a mutual kind of like genuine like affection. Yeah. You know, like I think that's just such a great place to be in. Like I get like why I get people wanting to get into relationships and business because they want to make money and they want, you know, things to be big and profitable and all that shit. I can understand why people would want to do that, but give me people that I kind of want to go to war with every day of the week, because there are days where it's just going to get so tough that, you know, if money is the only motivator, I might just throw the fucking towel in because
man.
But if I know that that's a person that I genuinely care about and I want to see do well in this life, then it doesn't matter what is coming at me or what's kind of being put in the middle. Like I'll still show up. I'll still give a shit. I'll still kind of do my job.
And you know what? That kind of brings me to the idea of like, you know, the martial arts and our love for that as well, right? Because that's one place that we've also bonded over.
Yes. You know? I mean, well, it's just been like perfect. Like, you know, we can watch some fights. We can talk shit about martial arts. Yeah, man. We can have that exchange. But anyway, let's talk about your martial arts journey. So your how far back does it go before you kind of like decide, all right, I want to give this little thing a crack here? I
would say, I think I'm bordering like 5-6 years now. Okay. So
you're in the gym, you're training, you're doing your strength work, and then is it a person? Is it a gym you see? Is it like what kind of instigates it?
Well, I've always found it fascinating, right? Fighting and martial arts, and you know, you see that the you know, the UFC and all this kind of stuff coming up and becoming quite popular, and I guess until you really get involved in it, you don't appreciate it much. Yeah, I guess it's like any sport, but I kind of was getting to the point with my training. I was like, I want to do something else, right? I kind of hit. I mean, I've been training for 10 years or so, or whatever it was, and I was like, I want to try something different. I want to be able to put my athletic ability, my strength, you know, test it, man. So, what better to test it than with some martial arts?
Another person, yep.
So at the time, I was living just around the corner from where I train now, and basically went up there one day, and you know, little white boy, and
knocked on the door,
walked through those doors, mate, and you know, the rest is history. So. Just started with jiu-jitsu, man. And
okay, so you started with jits? Okay.
Yeah, started with jits. Did a bit of boxing when I was in my mid-20s. Yeah. But just didn't find a love for it.
Yeah.
So I guess jiu-jitsu was a really good outlet mentally. Still to this day, man. Like I walk into the gym.
Yeah, you're just like,
and it's it's so different, man.
Yeah.
Like it's so different to weight training. Weight training, I still think is shit, right? Stuff still going through my head if I'm having a stressful day or whatever. Yeah. It does fix it, but it's like, it doesn't allow me to escape and forget everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Especially like with, a lot of things that have been going on recently.
Yeah.
It's really allowed me that outlet, man. And without it, I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Relationships, all the guys that I train with, just most down to earth.
Proper bonding.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, the relationships I've had from these guys, have really changed my life. And talk about delayed gratification. You
get your ass beat a couple of times. You're like,
try a year, mate. Try 6 months minimum getting your ass beat, right? By every single
hand
belt.
it to you. Yeah.
By you name it, by 15-year-olds,
Yeah.
So I think if anyone can stay around longer than 6 months, then
you'll be all right.
You're gonna be right.
Yeah, it'd be quite humbling, right? Like you walk in, even if you're like you're pretty jacked. You walk in there, you're probably against this 15-year-old kid who's just a string bean and not much to him. And then he just puts you on your ass. And
so I still remember my first session.
All right, yeah, let's go.
To this
Talk
day.
Talk to me.
So I went in there. I was like, I'm fit. I'm strong. I'll be fine,
I got
right?
this shit.
I got this shit. Went in there and just I got stuck in side control for like 5 minutes straight.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is just a complete dominant position, right?
Yeah.
And by the end of the class, I was holding on for my life for so long I couldn't even shake anyone's hand. My forearms were so fucked.
Oh, that sounds
so
fun.
I was like, so this is jiu-jitsu. Interesting.
Okay.
Just getting absolutely smashed for like an hour. Yeah. So I guess it took me a good 3-4 months to get my head around things and really humble yourself, man, because you're literally getting wrecked by everyone.
Yep.
And then 3-4 months goes by, and you get a new beginner come through, and you're like, okay,
now I can see where I'm at.
You're like, hello, and then all of a sudden the tables turn, man.
Yeah.
And 3-4 months of work's paid off, and then you're in a bit more control. And
okay.
It's amazing how things can turn around so quickly.
It's crazy. You mentioned the kind of escape thing and finding like this calm and this peace in there. When I had Dylan and Sam on here a couple of months ago, that was exactly what Dylan said. He was like, jiu-jitsu was like his escape and his place where he could just go and just find peace.
Yep.
And like,
it's a funny way of saying it, isn't it? Because it's like you're choking guys out or trying to break their arm, right?
Yeah.
And it's so peaceful.
Yeah. Okay.
And
well, do you know what I was thinking about? Could it be like the fact that you have to be so switched on to everything?
Everything.
Because like it's 0.5 seconds and you're out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you have to be so concentrated, so on point and so present that all you can do is be here and now.
Yeah.
And when you're here and now, there's no other bullshit. There's no external noise. There's none of this. There's no anxiety. There's no depression.
It's amazing, man. Like, and if you're not tapping, man, like something's gonna snap.
Something, yeah.
So you got to be on.
Have you been close to having something broken?
No, I like my limbs, bro.
Yeah.
Everything's so fucking tight anyway. So I'm just like, we're good. Yeah. I mean, my first comp, my mum was standing on the sidelines, and I got stuck in this choke, and I was like, I'll be right. My first comp, my first fight. Anyway, I've gone purple and just like passed out.
Oh, really?
I was like freaking the fuck out on the side.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my first comp, and did it right after that. But like, just one of those things where you just get caught in the moment. You're like, holy shit, just went out. But during training, it's all just it's just fun, man. With
as
the
soon
guys.
as it gets like close, you just tap straight away. I don't want to risk this. Yeah.
No. And that's the training with all your mates is just something that's you're out there to in a competitive environment, but at the same time, like we're all there together. We're all
looking
there for
after
the
each
same
other.
reason.
Yeah.
And we all want to see each other get better, improve, and that's what it all comes down to. That's why I've got so much love for martial arts, man, and so much respect for it, because I know when you see these guys at the top level, people don't realize how good they are, man.
Like what it takes to get there.
Got no idea. Yeah. And it also allows you to look at other sports and be like, these guys are elite.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah, you get to fully appreciate stuff.
Yep.
How long until you introduced the wrestling?
It was probably like 3 years.
So 3 years of just straight jits?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was always a bit skeptical of getting involved, but it's probably the best thing I've done, to be honest.
Do you like it more now?
I probably do.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been getting into it quite a lot recently. The last 6 months has been a bit rough just with training, just because of the business. It's just really taken off. And for me, the business has been a priority. So it's been really hard to balance. And I'm all about it. But for me, I've just had to kind of take a step back from it. Unfortunately, it's just been so hard, man, with everything going on.
Is it super taxing on your body, like wrestling? I've heard it's like pretty hectic.
Yeah, it's just about consistency though. Like if you go to the gym and you smash yourself for a week, you're going to be sore. Yep. If you go on every single week, your body adapts, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So, you know, it's all about consistency. If you're going each week and getting smashed, then your body adapts, man.
Yep.
Jiu-jitsu is a little bit different just with your fingers and stuff like that, but majority of the time it's just about being consistent and getting your body used to that.
Yep. And so with the wrestling, did it take as long? Do you feel like it took as long to kind of like get okay at it?
No, definitely not. It was a lot quicker.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I think because once you got a basic understanding of things, especially just movements and understanding what you're trying to do, it makes it a lot easier. So having a good base in jiu-jitsu really helped that wrestling, and they really complement each other.
Yep. Okay.
Well, you see the UFC at the moment, how strong the wrestlers are.
Yeah.
How dominant they are.
Well, man. I mean, I saw this stat the other day that was like all UFC champions from the last 20, 30 years, and it showed like how many of them have wrestling as their predominant skill.
Yep.
And it's so far out ahead.
Yep.
It's like, you know, like 90 or 100 of the champions, wrestling is a predominant skill. And then I think it's like 18 was boxing.
Yep.
And that was second. It's like far and above, you know?
And once again, like when you're wrestling someone, man, like they want to take you down, right? They're not like, oh, I wonder if he's okay thinking about what's been going on last week. It's just like, you know, should I take him down or is he not going to be ready for it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
so
I'm fucking taking him down.
They're trying to take you down, bro. So you are switched on.
Yeah, okay.
And if you're not switched on, man, you're going to hurt yourself.
Do you know what? I didn't even realize this because I was watching a mate of mine who like he Muay Thai boxing. He'd done Muay Thai and boxing. He did for like maybe 10, 12 years. A lot of fights. You know, loved it, but he was like, you know, I'm getting older. I got some kids, whatever. So he's taken up jiu-jitsu in the last, I think, maybe 12 months. Had his first couple of tournaments recently, and I seen he sent me some footage of him doing it, and I didn't realize how important wrestling was.
Yeah.
Because everyone starts on their feet.
Yep.
And I didn't even think about this because I'm like, all I can think about with jiu-jitsu is like you're on the back, you know,
the ground game, yeah.
The ground game, yeah. But it all starts on the feet. And then he was telling me about how like if you're a good wrestler in a tournament, like a jiu-jitsu tournament, you just like you'd take a guy down, stand back up.
Yeah.
Take a guy down, stand back up.
Yeah, you can do that, absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just like it kind of put the puzzle together a little bit better for me.
Yep.
Like where I kind of, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you start like that and then you got to get them to the ground, and that's where your jiu-jitsu comes in.
Yep.
But yeah, it made me, very, just fascinated by the whole thing.
Yeah. And I think the journey with any martial art is so long that it's just such a progressive art. So I think a lot of guys really love it because of that reason. And
yeah, you can just tinker. You can tinker.
The older you get, your game changes. You know, and I'm talking like into your 50s and 60s. You know, and strength doesn't become a priority. It's all technique, and you know, you can't rely on what you used to rely on. Or you know, you might have a bung knee or elbow or whatever. So you've got to change the way you you perform.
I had my first ever sensei at the like karate club, whatever, that I first started my martial arts journey. He would have been like, Sensei Mick would have been like probably late 50s. He might have been 60. Yeah. And the motherfucker was just running around like a 12-year-old kid, like just energy for days. He's still like sparring cunts that are like 20 years old, like twice his size. He's still sparring. And I'm like, man, this guy is just like a weapon. And I'm like he's at that age, my pop was already like struggling to walk and shit. Yeah. And like this cunt's fucking running around like it's nobody's business. I was like, Jesus, this is very interesting. Yeah. Like it definitely perked my ears up and got my attention as to like what is possible. Yep. So I'm like, I'm strapped in for life, baby. Let's go.
Brother. You're yet to start your jiu-jitsu game, mate.
Oh, it's coming. It's this year. I'm definitely getting into wrestling. I'm definitely getting into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, love it.
Definitely. It's just I'm being called. I'm just being called.
It's your calling.
It's my calling. I'm really happy with where my striking's at. I want to get in front of someone and, as you said, like kind of test it, like see how it is against another person.
Yep.
Really need to see what that looks like. because I'll be very interested to see how far it's come along. But yeah, definitely starting the wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
Start the journey, mate.
Oh, I can't wait, man. I'm fucking
and the
pumped.
best thing is you can start it when you're 20, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like
age doesn't matter, man.
nah, as long as you're just committed to like learning the craft.
Yep.
And caring about it. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
100%.
All right. Well, what's next for Rowan Allan Fitness?
Jeez, you're full of good questions today, aren't you, bro? Look, I've got my my own app coming out very soon, which is exciting. So that's been a long time in the making.
Yeah.
So that's
Tell us about the app. Why the app? Like, what's the benefits of it? Like,
yeah. So I just found that I was using apps from that had been recommended in the past, but they just didn't really. They're a bit too overcomplicated and. A lot of the stuff was unnecessary in them. So basically I've had an app built which is just really simple and easy to follow, you know, because a lot of guys that come to me, they're just like, they don't know anything about nutrition. They've been training a bit, but majority of them just need some help and support, you know, and keeping things simple, man, is the best way, right? You don't need to overcomplicate things. So, even just with like the weekly check-ins, it's all in there.
Yep.
Keeping things really, really simple, training, nutrition, creating a really solid video library with you, of course, just with helpful information, FAQs, and, being able to offer more value once again to my clients.
Just a one-stop shop where they like all their questions can be answered, all their routines, all their nutrition.
Yep.
So it's just like about giving more value, having it be a bit more cleaner, having it be a bit more kind of in line and efficient. Yeah,
absolutely. And just kind of, developing that over the next like 3-4 months, getting feedback from our clients and just trying to improve the user experience.
So have you launched it already?
No, we should be live in about 7 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it an app that you can is only accessible to your clients? How does that work?
Anyone can download it, but I'll have to provide them with a login and things like that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'll be working on a few other things, which we'll probably speak about in the next like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
But at the moment, we're just going to keep the VIP online coaching through that.
Yeah.
And what comes from the next 3-4 months of work, we'll
look at it then.
We'll look at it then.
Yeah, cool.
So some exciting things happening, man, which is going to be really good.
Yeah, fuck yeah. All right, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a pretty decent place to end it. I think we've got to a fair bit.
We could chat for another 3 hours, I reckon, mate,
but I reckon we'll keep it short because I feel like I always like to keep the end user in mind. Like if I'm sitting on a like bus or a train and I'm plugging a podcast, I don't want to look down and see that it's 3.5 hours. But if I say like 30-40 minutes, I might fucking just tap in and punch it out.
Listen to these two blokes talk some shit.
Yeah. All right, well, Ro, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, man. It's always a pleasure.
We're gonna vibe out to some outro music now. You ready?
Cannot wait. I've been waiting for this for a long time.
All right, baby, let's go. Thanks for tuning into the Sav Show, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Let's go. See, cunt.